What's up, everyone, and welcome to Clear Talk. So today, as you see in the title, we are talking about parenthood, and specifically about how parenting can influence a child in their younger years as well into adulthood. So basically, this subject, this video, was come on me to speak about because of a conversation that I had with a fellow worker today. It was prompted because oddly enough, they recently discovered that well, let's just say for the sake of argument, that I was atheist. And oddly enough, for some reason today, that for them brought on the question of whether or not I believed in whipping or spanking, or however you want to look at it, a child, as disciplinary, to which I then went into talking about basically how I have parented. I have my oldest child is 22. So I have had, some years of parenting between 4 kids. And so when I started out, I did as most parents, I think, do, in kind of just sort of taking what my parents did and, copy paste onto my parenting. I mean, unless, and like I said, I feel like this happens in most cases, unless you just have some hard line for some reason to be completely opposite of your parents. Maybe you had a parent that was extreme in some way, and you want to be completely opposite of that. Now, I completely understand. So anyways, so yes, early on in my parenting, I did admittedly whip or spank my older children, and it eventually became an issue for me personally because for one, it bothered me. I never liked doing it. But secondly, for some, it also just didn't feel like it was really benefiting or doing anything, to really adjust behavior. I mean, maybe momentarily, but, it doesn't really. I just started to feel that there had to be a different way there, that it didn't feel like it was necessary. So as I evolved in my parenting over the years, I have basically now I feel that spanking or whipping a child, should most certainly not be the first go-to in discipline. As a matter of fact, in my opinion, I believe it should absolutely be the very, very last resort. Basically to where nothing else has done anything, and that is the absolute last resort to try. So no, I do not advocate, in my opinion, for whipping or spanking a child. Do I think it should be banned? No, I don't, or canceled, whatever. No, I think that everybody, every parent should have the freedom to parent their child how they want, within reason, of course. If obviously, if there are signs, or of some type of abuse, that's no longer disciplining. That's going way beyond those boundaries. But but me personally, that's the way I feel. But this is not the main focus for this video. As we continue discussing, this evolved into basically talking about how in specific situations, because, okay, you have different dynamics, right? You have your more, as they say, nuclear dynamic of mother, father, child, whether it's one, multiple, whatever. And then you have your single parent, okay, dynamic, whether it's, father with daughter, father, son, mother, daughter, mother, son. You have those dynamics. And it was basically stated to me, the dynamic between a son and a daughter, and as they age and progress, their behavior the way I felt it is a very stereotypical way of looking at it. The boy or male is much more, I guess, aggressive than the female or girl. That the girls are more in their feelings, and a boy is more likely to be more aggressive or lash out, or violent or whatever. To where, in my opinion, I strongly disagree. And here's why. For me, for one, that's boxing a particular type of child into something that, is basically saying inherently that's the way they are. And I don't agree with that. I think every child is different. And I also think that every child is different also based on the parenting. At least to a certain degree. So, in my opinion, because, see, I look at my son, for instance, and if I'm being honest, he's probably more in his feelings than any of his sisters. Okay. He absolutely cannot accept when me or his mother is, if he thinks we're upset with him or whatever, like it bothers him. It gets to him. And to say that all boys just sort of inherently are aggressive, or inherently almost as if they are, heartless or cold-hearted or something, like, they need some sort of more aggressive discipline to keep them on a certain track of behavior, it is, in my opinion, completely wrong. For me, if you parent a child with love, with compassion, with understanding, with acceptance, then you will more than likely, a greater likeliness to have those same things reciprocated back to you from the child. It is very, in my opinion, unlikely that you would get an opposite result. But yet the same applies in the other way. If you are aggressive, then in my opinion, there's more likelihood that you will have regression, anger, violence reciprocated back to you. Okay? Because, I mean, think about it. Anger is sort of a natural defense towards anger. Or, violence is a natural defense towards violence. Love is, in my opinion, more of a natural thing towards love, and so on and so forth. You typically bounce back, reciprocate what you are given. And so that is where I stand on, in my opinion, if you are parenting that way, then there's a greater likelihood that you will have that reciprocated back to you. Therefore, it would be no need in having to be aggressive or having to have a stern disciplinary practice in order to have a specific type of child behave in a specific type of manner. I just don't agree with that. And that's how I feel about that. So that's the second part. So this then molded into, well, once they get into adulthood, it doesn't matter what you did as a parent. It doesn't matter what you said, what you taught, what you guided them in. That once they're an adult and they will make their own decisions, and they don't care what you think. And then it doesn't matter anymore. So it's no longer your fault. If they do something, if they make a decision that negatively affects them or others around them. To which I firmly, again, disagree. Because here's the thing. When you become a parent, you are always a parent. And in my opinion, you should never stop parenting. And for me to make that type of disclaimer that, or like that type of argument that once once a child becomes an adult, that decisions that child makes are no longer a reflection or no longer to blame on you, because it doesn't matter what you said. You could have did everything right as a parent, and they're still going to make the decisions they want to make, and if they make negative decisions, then they're going to make them anyways. For one, my problem with that, well, starters, part of it's true. The child does have the ability, the adult, or as it was put to me, the grown-ass adult. Yes, they will make their own decisions. They are an adult. They have the capability of making decisions for themselves. But to look at it that way, in my opinion, in saying that, it doesn't matter what you did as a parent, You could have done everything right, and they still would do it. For starters, sounds to me like at some point someone stopped being a parent. Because to say that you did everything right means that you no longer are doing anything as a parent. Because to have done everything right is a past tense. And in my opinion, you never stop parenting. Period. I don't care. It doesn't matter if they turn 18 or whenever they move out of the home. That doesn't mean that you stop parenting. It doesn't mean that now they're an adult and they're just going to do whatever they want and blah, blah, blah. And you're free and you don't have to make, you don't have to be a parent anymore or blah, blah, blah. You never stop parenting. The parenting might look different. The parenting might change. It may not be the same type of parenting you did while they were in the home, but you still parent. You never stop parenting, ever. Even if that looks like calling or texting to check in on them from time to time, making sure they're okay, making sure things are good. Do they need any help with anything or, whatever? You never stop parenting. You always let them know that you are there. No matter what. If they need you, you are there. That is to continue parenting. No matter if they need a shoulder to cry on, or an ear to hear, arms to embrace them if they so need it. You never stop parenting. Even if you parent, you never stop parenting. You're a parent to the day you die. And if you have, at that point, done everything that you could do as a parent, and have tried your best to be the absolute best parent that you could be, then even after you're gone, you are still parenting. Because even after you're gone, then the child can still harness your guidance. They can still feel your love. You can still feel your compassion, your understanding, your acceptance, they can still feel how proud you are of them. And those things will stick with them for the rest of their lives. You never stop parenting. And all those things will influence and bring about weight in the decision making that child does even as an adult. Whether they're positive or negative decisions. If a child, as an adult, if those things that you have done as a parent and continue to do in your parenting, even as they're adults, then yes, they will make decisions on their own. True enough. But those life-changing decisions that they come across, positive or negative, they will at some point feel that influence, that weight of your parenting. Now, in their decision making. Now, I'm not talking about the weight of what your opinion is of it. I'm not talking about a child thinking, well, if I make this negative decision or positive decision, whatever, that, you know, what's my parents going to think of me? You know, what's my mom going to think of me? What's my father going to think of me? Or, you know, what's their, you know, their opinion going to be about it? That's not the weight I'm talking about. The weight I'm talking about is the more guided weight. The weight of them asking themselves, if my mother or my father, if they had to make this decision, I wonder what they would have done. Or how would my parents have went about with, you know, this decision? What did my parents teach me or guide me in making these types of decisions? That's the weight I'm talking about. That's the positive weight. The positive influence that they can have that can alter or at least make them think about their decisions. I don't think I'm the best parent in the world. But that doesn't keep me from trying my absolute damnedest to be. I never stopped parenting. I never stopped trying to learn how to do better. Learn how to be more accepting, be more understanding, be more loving, be more compassionate, be more just be more. I strive to be that best parent of the generation, that best parent of the century, the best parent of the ages, the best parent of all time. That's what I strive for. Because my children, for me, that's what they deserve. So I never stop parenting. You never stop parenting. Even once they're old and, out of the house. Like I said, it might change, but you never stop. My closing on this discussion at the discussion I had at work was this. Because, and I guess I should maybe pre text this with the fact that if a child decides to do a negative decision in their path as an adult, and the parent having no blame, that my opinion was this, in closing, that if a parent at any point makes the decision that they have zero blame for a child making a bad or negative decision for themselves and or the people around them, if the parent thinks they have zero blame, that is the very moment that, in my opinion, that parent burdens the most blame. Because for me, that means at some point that parent stopped parenting. For me, at some point, that parent gave up. Gave up on that child. And you never give up on a child. Never. I don't care. You never give up on a child. You never stop parenting. Never, ever, ever stop parenting. thank you for joining me with this. I know this was a pretty deep one, especially for me. One that was dear to my heart. But thank you for joining me. If you like this type of content, hell, you know what to do. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for listening. If you got this far, let me know. Let me know what you think. Am I right? Am I wrong? Do you think differently? Has this changed your thought? Let me know. Thank you. Love you. Be peaceful. Be nice. Be kind. All those good things. Thank you. And until next time, this has been Clear Talk. Peace.